interrupt this broadcast.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
Welcome to 6 Things Episode 8. I'm Robb Ellis. You know the drill. Each week on 6 Things, we're going to count down 6 of the strangest news stories from the past week. We always have 2 guests to help out, and here they are. We have my first guest, the newest member of the First Alert Weather Team, the weekend morning meteorologist here on WECT, Iisha Scott, and you can see him perform at Nutt Street Comedy Room right here in Wilmington, comedian Sean Webb. You got some great talent in town. I've seen some of these guys. Incredible how good these guys are.
The comedy scene has exploded in Wilmington.
It's really good.
Yeah.
And nutstreet.com is where they can get the information.
Nutstreet.com, yeah, absolutely.
Excellent. Well, we've got 6 things to talk about. Let's get right to it. Let's start with number 6. Very simple story here. Not a lot to this. It's just stupid. A group aboard the Port Authority patrol boat, it sank during an exercise. Here's the reason why. The civilian instructor on board advised the sergeant on the boat to open a hatch. Here's the problem. The hatch happened to be underwater. Of course, the boat filled with water and sank in about 40 feet of water just off of, I guess this was in Queens, right off of Queens, New York. And why would you do this? What idiot is looking out of a porthole that's underwater and would open it?
Well, it just goes to prove, if you say something with enough authority, if you believe it, it's not a lie if you believe it. It's like, yeah, go ahead, open that hatch.
You would think the sergeant would know better, right? That he would.
You would think, yeah.
But he just, there it is, and there's the picture of the boat that somebody captured. Now, the boat cost about $500,000.
Oh my gosh.
And there were 11 people on board. They had to all swim to safety. 8 cops, 3 civilians. It's a 37-foot model moose boat. That's what it's called. I don't know why it's called a moose boat, but 300 yards offshore.
So is that the Hudson River?
God, I hope not.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, they had to swim in that to get to shore. Oh.
That would have been good.
Yeah, and you know that. Well, not only that, but they would try. I guess they would try to retrieve because there's a ton of equipment on board. They said there's all this response equipment, marine radios, radar, GPS gear. Now some of that's not going to be salvageable, but some of this stuff they may try to. I just don't know if I'd want it after.
I would have been pretty upset.
Yeah, at least you don't have to try and find a black box, so we kind of know what happens.
Yeah,
it's pretty self-evident.
The survivors are just embarrassed.
And for once, the civilian screwed everything up, not the government employee. So that's
Send all emails to the Nutt Street Comedy Room. Let's move on to number 5 on our countdown this week. Everyone's paying attention to the polls as election approaches. Now, whether you're on one side or the other, I just thought this was a great story. New poll from Spirit Halloween. I know that's the name in polling, but it says that the Obama Halloween mask is outselling the Romney mask 64 to 36. So what do you think of the masks?
Well, it makes sense. I mean, who would want to wear a Mitt Romney mask out in public? Like, you're gonna have 47% of the people scowling at you everywhere you go.
But do you think they would wear the mask if they were like wanting to be the opponent? Like, do you think they're going to wear the mask of the candidate they like or the candidate they don't like?
I think they will wear it of the candidate they like.
They like, okay.
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't wear it though, but everybody else.
And I don't think they really look like, I think the Romney mask looks better than the Obama mask.
Yeah, I mean, Obama looks rough in that mask.
Yeah,
he really does. Like, he's got the crow's
long
feet going on. Like,
Yeah.
he's been worn down.
The presidency has not been
Romney's
kind.
all fresh looking.
He's got that
His
game
hair's
show
nice.
contestant. Yeah, I do think
Yeah.
the Romney one is better looking. It doesn't really look like, if you were to show me those, I wouldn't look at.
Well, the one stat we're forgetting is that 100% of the people that bought these masks also robbed banks.
So which ones? Well, maybe that'll cater to the Romney folks, folks that are the upper crust, I guess.
Yeah.
Now, at least, that they've got the money. I don't know. I just thought it was interesting. Again, the polling. All right, let's move on to our number 4 topic of the countdown. Price to move. This was, again, another simple story, but the picture is what does everything for me. Guy's having a yard sale, wants to attract some attention. It's in California, and he puts this sign up out front. Of course, there's all kinds of things for sale, but the picture there apparently is of his ex-wife. He says, for sale or rent, if you want to rent, per $10.50. like $10.50 is the price that he put. Why
$10.50?
That's what I asked.
Like,
Of all the
is that all
things,
she's worth?
I think that's an inside joke. Like he misplaced 1050 at some point in their marriage, and like it kept coming up. Oh yeah, you lost that 1050.
you think that was like a sour,
That's yeah, exactly.
a dinner or something that
That's
went
something
sour?
that went deep.
Yeah.
He knew it was like 1050.
That was at the beginning of the end, I think,
Yeah.
for the marriage at that
Exactly.
point. But I love the picture, and there's all kinds of other stuff scribbled on the graphic. I don't know what the other stuff is.
That's
Furniture, antiques, appliances. I don't know what it says there on the left. I'm gonna have to go back and look at it, but she does not look. She's in a bikini.
She's in a yeah. She's got a nice body. I mean,
Well, why
he
did
could
she
have
have
really.
been in a bikini?
Maybe
She
it's
could
not a
have been in
bikini.
a dress.
Or-
Maybe it's.
yeah, he didn't draw her that way. He said that's apparently all he remembers from his ex-wife.
Well, he's selling a little late. Like she's the ex-wife.
She's the
Matt.
ex-wife,
Like
yeah.
you sell when she's the wife.
It's past
I
her
have
time.
When
to
it's
object
legal.
to that, but okay.
Uh-oh. Let's move on to number 3 on our countdown. Okay, this is the one I wanted to spend a lot of time on because I was fascinated by this. I read this entire article. We've all played Nintendo games, right?
Right.
We're all Nintendo
Yes.
players here. At least we did. Here's the deal. Remember, if the game didn't work, what you would do to get the cartridge to work, you would blow on it, right? Well, a tech blogger decided to conduct this experiment. He asked a lot of scientists, a lot of engineers, did that actually work? Did blowing on the cartridges really do anything? And there's what he did. He took 2 Gyromite games, which I remember the Gyromite game. I didn't like it, but I remember it. It wasn't a good game, was it?
No.
I don't remember that one.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's
well,
why
that's
nobody-
probably
Is that
why.
right? Okay.
Well, he took 2 of them, probably because there was a stack of them that nobody wanted to play. And he conducted the experiment. Subject A, Subject B. He blew on one of the cartridges 10 times a day for a month. One, he didn't do that at all. Well, here were the results. The one on the bottom is the one that eventually looked the way it does there, where he blew on it every day. Now, he talked to a bunch of engineers. The engineers say that blowing on them doesn't do anything. It doesn't actually work.
Well, I think it does work because I remember when I was younger and my mom would say, well, just blow on it to get the dust out of
Right,
it.
that's
and
what I thought.
The dust. And it would work.
And you would put it back in.
Right.
Well,
You would
that's
put
what
it
a
back
lot
in.
of the folks in the research thing said. But here's what they found out, that it may have just been random, that you may have just been putting it back in, and it may have just been a better connection. I don't know. I think
I
it
don't
works.
agree. I
yeah,
think
no,
it works.
it definitely works.
It definitely
Yeah.
works.
There's no debate about this. It
Right.
worked. It always worked. Like if it didn't play. Now, in the off chance that it did, the other thing that I used to do is I wouldn't stick the cartridge all the way in, where when I pushed it down, it would actually rub up against the thing, and that would
Oh,
work
so
too.
it gave it the extra connection.
Extra connection, yeah.
Oh.
Well, they said there were people that would like stack another cartridge on top, and it would maybe increase the connectivity between the little pins that it has to go. They actually talk about, like, if you blow on it, your breath has a little bit of moisture to it, and that moisture may have increased the electrical connectivity. But look what it did at the bottom there. You see, it's got all the extra, what they call patina, which is on the copper. It's like the
like corrosion.
corrosion,
Yeah.
yeah. And they say that it's actually in the long term bad for the game.
Because yeah, we're still playing Nintendo, so.
I still have my Nintendo.
Yeah.
I still have mine. Yeah, I still
Yeah.
have all the games.
I don't have mine anymore.
What was your favorite game?
On Nintendo, well, I mean the Mario's, and then Contra.
Well, yeah, I
Contra.
love Mario Brothers.
And I liked
my favorite.
which one? 1, 2, or 3?
I would have to say 1 and 2.
Okay. See, everybody they all went crazy when 3 came out. That was the
Really?
big. That was the big deal. Like, if you had Mario 3, you were up there. You were like on the. You were
Oh,
in
yeah.
the top tier.
Yeah.
You were the 1%.
You had Mitt Romney money.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna go back to that earlier story. All right, this story, our number 2 story, is just kind of fun. Take a look. Here's the picture. It's called the Kuro Burger in Japan. They're releasing this black hamburger, the Kuro Burger. Here's how it's different from the regular burger. The bun uses charcoal, bamboo charcoal, to dye the bun black, and the ketchup has squid ink in it to make it black as well. Everything else is exactly the same. So would you eat it?
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about squid ink, so I don't think I would eat that.
What do you think? Do you think it? I don't know if it has a taste to it. I don't think it has a. Maybe it does. Maybe it tastes a little different.
It could. Well, I was just
I would-
thinking.
I would eat the bun, but not the ketchup stuff.
See, the squid ink doesn't bother me. It's the bamboo charcoal that just does not sound good to me at all.
But there's a very practical application for that. Like after a night of drinking, charcoal absorber. That's what they give to people that go into the hospital.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, you eat those, you're not gonna have such a bad hangover.
The new hangover. You could actually market that.
That shows my sick
Hangover
mind.
cure.
Like the first thing I thought, like, oh, I could drink more and eat a couple of these.
Yeah, because they say like if you swallow poison, that's what you're supposed to. You're supposed to like have little charcoal bits that you're supposed to eat. Or not that I would ever want to eat charcoal. That just sounds terrible. You're already poisoned.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, this next story. Just go to the graphic because we're going to get into trouble here. All right. A man in New Zealand had to go to the hospital to have something removed from his rear. This is not the exact picture. I'll get to what this exact picture is in a moment. But he had to have an eel removed from his rear. It was not known how he got the eel. First of all, how does an eel get in there?
That is disgusting.
It is pretty nasty.
Yeah, it's like I wonder if this guy had like a Little Mermaid fetish. The eels in Little Mermaid. Like that might be. That's the only thing I could think of. It's so out there.
It
like
is.
No.
it's either a weird fetish or he was on some drug that we don't even like would make bath salts look like Tylenol.
It said it doesn't say how it happened, but let me get you to the picture that we actually have up there. While I was looking for a picture of an eel or something, I came across this one, and it was a separate story from, I believe, China, of a man who was in a spa, and they have the little eels that eat away the dead skin, and they removed this from his bladder. That's all I'm going to say, because in order to get to his bladder, you can imagine where it had to go in. But they had to take him to the hospital, and several hours later, and they pulled that from his bladder. It was already dead by that point, but it's just kind of creepy, which is reason number 672 why I will not get in the water.
There's just no way to explain.
How oblivious was this guy though? Like the second the eel tried to make his journey, I would
Yeah.
I would pinch things off, and that's it. That's the end of your journey, son. You're going no further up this path.
Yeah, because it can't just happen. It doesn't just slip in there.
Right,
It's gotta,
when it's going.
It's got to wiggle its
speak.
way in.
He might have had one too many sake shots, I guess. That's,
Well, Tom, our production manager here was talking about eel pots, crab pots. They're not crab pots.
They're not crab pots.
He was talking about these things that float like in the Brunswick River, and I thought they were crab pots. You see the little buoys that are up there, and you're saying that they are.
Catch eels and send them to France.
They catch eels and send them to France. Who knew that there was an eel?
Wow.
That's why I'm not getting in the Brunswick River or any river around here.
I didn't know.
It's kind of scary because you never know. You
How
never-
ironic
keep
is
that in
that?
mind.
Like, we're shipping eels to France. Like, they're probably eating them. It's like gourmet. They have no idea. It's like a bunch of hillbillies sent this
Yeah,
to them.
exactly. And they're sending us escargot.
They have no idea. They're thinking it's like something really fancy, like some chef can. No, just a bunch of rednecks ship this over to you.
Yeah, from the Brunswick
From the
River.
Brunswick River.
Crazy stuff.
I bet that's not on the packaging.
No.
Well, thank you both for being here for Six Things. This has been a lot of fun.
for
I
having
want to
me.
thank my guest, Sean Webb. Check him out at the Nutt Street Comedy Room. And also, of course, Iisha Scott. You're going to be right here on the mornings on
I will.
Saturday. Newest member of the First Alert Weather Team. Join us next week when we have 2 more guests and 6 more things you may have missed.